Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Alviso. Man, I'm very excited to be doing race commentary, my own race commentary. If you missed last week's, I'll link it right here. Long story short, I got beat up on by the Thirsty Bear guys. They had an amazing race. Michael took the win. So I'm back this week to reclaim the Alviso throne. Just like last week, no teammates. It's just me and San Jose Bicycle Club, the boys in blue. They are the major team today, which makes sense, right? So Alviso is in San Jose, for those people wondering. You see their kid on the left here, the guy on the Venge. So when you're up against a big team like this and you're by yourself, I guess the worst thing that you can do is find yourself having just to chase relentless attacks. So anyway, let's just dive right into the footage and see how this race unfolds. Okay, so here's my plan. I'm confident in my field sprint, assuming that I can sit in and rest, but that's never the case, right? People don't just let you sit in and rest, especially in this field. There's tons of strong guys. So I'm always looking for an opportunity to get into a breakaway because I'd much rather sprint against like 3 or 4 other guys than 40 other guys, because it's a pretty big field. So I'm looking for opportunities to break away, but I'm also mindful of the energy I'm using should it come back to a field sprint. So that's kind of my approach when I'm coming into these Alviso races. I want to lean on my strengths and not be exposed for my weaknesses, which is chasing and long, sustained efforts. I don't want to be in a position where I'm stuck doing that. In this case, I have Blaine attacking up the left-hand side, and you got to follow Blaine every time. He's fast. He's a strong breakaway rider. Anybody who is just going to be attacking right in front of you like this, take advantage of that draft, follow them, and in this case, it's actually kind of necessary because you can see up the road there's already a San Jose Bike Club rider who has a gap off the front. So this is kind of necessary. I'm glad that it's Blaine doing the chasing and not me. I need to get back into that draft and make sure we stitch this back up so San Jose doesn't have the upper hand. Okay, so group is back together, but now it looks like an attack has gone off the front again and things are just kind of starting to fall apart towards the front of the race. And again, I need to stitch this back up. I can't let like 2 or 3 San Jose riders get off the front in a large breakaway group because I'll end up having to chase that later on. So just got to close that gap, spend some energy, and then make sure it all comes back together. And this is one of those moments where you see a San Jose guy on the front. He just did a hard effort. It's starting to slow down, and I just slingshot past these front riders, carry all my speed, and I bridge right across to Nick. And this is one of those attacks where, like, I don't want this isn't going to go the distance. 9 times out of 10, this isn't an attack that is meant to go all the way to the finish line. What it is like a the best defense is a good offense sort of thing. I just want to make the race on my terms. I don't want to keep getting counterattacked by San Jose because then I'm stuck chasing, and that is not how you win bike races. You have to be aggressive, and you have to be the person who instigates these moves. Believe it or not, it's actually easier when you're off the front like this doing a consistent effort instead of surging and responding to all these attacks, because now I'm never going to go into the red. I won't ride myself into the red in this situation. I'm going to keep it within myself. I'm going to ride as hard as I want, and then just as I say that, here goes a big counterattack. It kind of backfires on me. Here goes a big counterattack by Zach. Totally forgot that happened. I was kind of boxed in there. I wasn't really in a position to chase him back. I just done an effort. So that was just a really well-timed attack by Zach of San Jose Bike Club, and now I've missed it. So now I have to get back into rotation. I have to spend some energy doing the exact thing I said at the top of this video that I don't want to be doing, which is chasing. All right, so we've brought it back. I've done a whole bunch of work on the front. I'm tired as hell. Meanwhile, all these SJBC guys behind me, I don't know how many, I think there were like 5 or 6 of them still behind me, have all been sitting in my draft. So this is like the power of teamwork, right? And this is like the last thing I want to do is close this little gap right here, but I have to do it, right? If I let him go out again and open another gap, it's just like we just repeat exactly what just happened. So I got to nip this in the bud. And anyway, I'm kind of stuck on the front right now, just kind of waiting for that San Jose Bike Club counterattack, because now is the time. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm vulnerable. This is the time when a big counterattack would be pretty effective, and I'm out of position. I'm stuck on the front. So even though I'm doing 200 watts right here, the speed isn't very high, only 23 miles an hour, and I do not want to respond to an attack right now, especially if it comes from San Jose, because they have all the numbers behind me. So I'm just going to sit on the front right now and hope that somebody comes around me, because I'm going to sit back and rest. I mean, we still have 17 kilometers to go in this race. So this is still in the first part of this race. And when I see this attack go on the left, I am just thrilled that it is not San Jose, because now I can really shut it down and I can really lean on the 5 or 6 San Jose guys who are in this race to chase that back and not me. So I'm comfortable letting this gap open up, and if I feel like maybe it won't come back, I'll just wait for the crosswind section and do a hard effort there to make sure that nobody's behind me benefiting from my draft. But that doesn't happen. It gets brought back, and another San Jose rider rolls off the front, kind of right in front of me. I shouldn't have let this happen, but they were on top of it today, man. They were relentless with the attacks, and with an SJBC rider off the front again, so begins another chase effort. Which ends with, yep, you guessed it, another attack by SJBC. So they're just doing this 1-2 thing, and I'm getting really tired, you guys. Like, I can't keep doing this. This is what I was talking about at the very beginning of the video. You just get into this pattern of chasing relentless attacks by the big teams represented in the race, which, by the way, like, kudos to San Jose. That's exactly how they should be playing it when they have the numbers. So with some help from this Penn Velo guy in the red jersey in front of me, that one also gets brought back. And this time, I want to play it a little bit different. I don't want to just wait around for the counterattack by San Jose. That's not working out for me, so I put in this pretty hard effort right here in the crosswind. And this is not something I want to do right now. Like, I'm tired, but I just want to preempt the predictable counterattack by San Jose. And what ends up happening is I get a little gap off the front, and I draw out Zach, who is the San Jose sprinter. And this is a good situation for me because I know that I'm doing a lot of work right here, but so is Zach, so I'm more than happy to work in this group. And just like before with the Specialized guy, when I see Ben jump across this gap and then just continue motoring by, like, it's not San Jose for a change, this is great news for me because I kind of force Zach into closing this down, which he does, and I gladly follow in his draft. So this is great because I want... What's happened here is now we're in this group of 3. We have a gap off the main Peloton. And in this breakaway group, I'm only up against one SJBC rider. So my chances are way better, right? Like, me versus one San Jose rider is much better than me versus the 6 San Jose riders that are behind in the group. So what I do is I immediately fall into rotation. I take a nice, long, and fast pull right off the bat to show that I'm interested in making this work. I'm interested in maintaining the gap that we have and try to get this breakaway group to the finish line. But all good things must come to an end, and we get caught about 2 kilometers later, and it's SJBC again. But you saw I preempted that. So if you watched my power, I got right up to speed before he came blasting past me. But they need to stop this attacking me and racing so well because I've had enough. I'm tired. But I have to commit this energy, right? I cannot let, inside of 9 kilometers to go, I cannot let Timmy here get a gap off the front because, if I decide not to chase it and nobody else decides to chase it, like, that could be race over. So it looks like he's waiting for me to take a pull through. I am not going to do that. These sting, especially right when you've been brought back from a breakaway. These sting so much, and I have no desire to keep this pace high. And then again, San Jose, like, he didn't even have to get out of the saddle. Like, I'm so weak right now. He just kind of pushed past and immediately opens up this gap. See Timmy doing a little bit of work. This is good. He probably won't keep doing that because, guys, in case you haven't heard on my channel, don't chase your teammates. Now Blaine's jumping across, so now this is looking even more threatening. And I just don't want to keep on... We have 2 laps left. I just don't want to keep on chasing, but I have to here, so I commit some more energy. And you guys are starting to see a pattern here, right? This is how teamwork is successful in bike racing. And San Jose's doing a really good job, in contrast to last week's episode where I kind of was a little bit harsh on San Jose. So I'm glad to see that they came out and got organized this week, and I'm just going to chase this back and sit on. And if I had the energy, this would be a great time for a counterattack, but I just don't have it. And because I don't counterattack, San Jose punishes me and they go. And for this one, like, I just have to sit in, rest. I cannot continue chasing or else I'm going to drop myself. So I see this single San Jose rider go off the front. I figure, okay, that's better than him and Blaine. So I just let this one go. I sit in and I'm going to try to catch my breath a little bit here for the finish. So unfortunately for me, that single SJBC rider was joined by about 3 other riders. So now there's this very threatening group off the front. While I was kind of sitting back catching my breath, this is the way bike racing goes, and now I am like scrambling 1,000 watts up towards the front. I have to chase this back now. We're approaching 1 lap to go, and I get some help here. I have Luis right in front of me, former teammate on Terun. In front of him, I have Nick. I get a couple of hero pulls here, and this really helps us close this back down because We absolutely have to shut this down. This is so threatening, you guys. In the last lap, a group of 4 very motivated riders off the front. You cannot hesitate, or else I'm sure you guys know if you've raced, that could be race over. So you can see them off in the distance. I'm yelling at Luis right now, giving him some encouragement. I'm giving Nick the thanks, bro, right now. And yeah, they get me almost all the way there. I seal the deal here. I close it down, and with 1 lap to go, let's just do commentary all the way to the finish. Why not? This was a couple of weeks ago. Let me see if I can remember what I was thinking. I definitely need to stitch this all the way back up. And if I hadn't spent most of this race doing a lot of chasing and a lot of unsuccessful counterattacking, then this would have been a great opportunity to do a counterattack. For those of you who don't have a confident sprint, then this would be a great time to launch a counterattack. Everyone's real tired. It's been really fast. Last lap breakaway gets caught. Launch a counterattack right now. You'd be surprised, because guys like me who are trying to save their legs for the sprint finish have no motivation to spend energy within 2 minutes of the end of the bike race. At this point, I wanted to save. A little sketch there. At this point in the race, I just want to save all my energy for the finish. And with that being said, this rider who is not San Jose, who goes off the front, like, I am not going to follow him. I am going to lean as much as I possibly can on San Jose now that the race is all back together, right? Because we're all back together now with 1,600 meters to go. I'm going to fall back, get good position here. And what I'm thinking about right now is, whose wheel am I following? Who's in front of me? Who's still behind me? I'm kind of thinking about my position with respect to the other sprinters in the group. And you really have to start thinking about, how much distance is there left? That's a really important consideration at this point in the race. When the speed gets fast on the front, that's when it's most important to have a draft, and you don't want to be spending any energy out in the wind, closing down gaps, anything like that. So that's what I'm thinking right now. And now I'm seeing a little bit of organization from San Jose. There were some gaps starting to open up on the front. And like I said, this was such a rip and fast race right from the whistle that I don't really expect like a big lead out, and I don't expect a particularly fast run into the finish. So when I see these 2 San Jose guys organized on the front, I know they're going to bring it right up to the front of the bike race. And then I jump on Timmy's wheel. Timmy's a great sprinter. I know that this is a ticket right up to the front of the race in the draft, right? That's important. Like I said, you don't want to be spending any time when you're going 30 plus miles an hour like we are right now. You don't want to be spending any time out in the wind if you don't have to. So I love my position right here. 350 meters to go with a tailwind. I'm prepared to go at any moment here once I see these San Jose guys start to slow down. And then Dave on the left right here starts to crowd me. And just for a second here, I'm going to pause it. Just for a second, I am completely boxed in. And this is like the last thing you want to see as a sprinter, having no way out with 260 meters to go. But I get lucky. I'm not going to lie. And this little gap opens up between the front of Timmy's wheel and then the San Jose sprinter's wheel. Sorry, I don't know your name. And I'm able just to completely uncork it. Hit some pretty good numbers. I mean, considering we're like almost in November. And just find a clean set of wheels to the finish line. And that wraps up another edition of Alviso. So thanks for watching, guys. Happy to share more of these. I'm going to try to power through these because I've been sitting on like the last 4 weeks of Alviso videos. So stay tuned, hang in there, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys at the next one.